Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today we are talking about chosen family. So, if you don't know, chosen family is a term in the LGBTQ community, basically that refers to the idea of getting to choose the people you call family, getting to choose the people that you call brother or sister, finding mentors in, figures like, a motherly figure, a fatherly figure, a grandfatherly figure, whatever. And it's been brought about because of, shockingly, many people don't choose to accept their gay children, their gay siblings, their gay cousins, their gay grandchildren. And so in the LGBTQ community, we have decided we're just going to make our own. We're going to make our own family. And essentially, that's what chosen family is. It's, forget blood, forget the bond of, growing up in the same household. That really doesn't mean anything if these people don't treat you properly. It's a bit of a heartbreaking idea because, in an ideal world, you wouldn't have to choose your family. Everyone would accept you. Everyone would love you. Everyone would find peace in knowing that you're happy and, you love the people that you love. But unfortunately, there is bigotry. There is difficulties in home life. People struggle with addiction and all kinds of problems. I mean, the list of problems that you can have with a blood relative are literally endless, unfortunately. And so we have this great thing called your chosen family. And this is the idea that you encounter individuals who are like you. Maybe they're queer, maybe they're not, but they accept you and they love you for who you are. Sometimes your chosen family can align with some of your actual family, which is great. I come from a household where virtually everybody pretty much accepts who I am. There's a few, there's been a few bumps in the road. There's been a few tense moments and difficult situations and, a few tears shed here and there. But, my chosen family have always accepted me, have always loved me, have always taken care of me. I can go to them for advice, for guidance, for the occasional parenting, and that's really special. And I think this idea is becoming a lot more relevant in just general culture. I think a lot of us have always felt sort of obligated or tied down to our family because we share blood or we share an upbringing together. And I think a lot of us, gay, straight, queer, not queer, I think a lot of us have realized, no, my chosen family is who I actually want to associate with. There are always people in our blood relations that, you look at and you just go, if we weren't related, I would have nothing to do with you, And we always, I think everybody has that kind of relative where you're just like, yep, I really don't want to see you at Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever holiday you might celebrate together. And it's unfortunate that we're kind of placed in the same room as these people who don't really accept us and don't really want a whole lot to do with us, and we don't want a whole lot to do with them. And so navigating that is a bit difficult, but hopefully your chosen family will always be there for you. They will support you. They will give you guidance and help. I think it's really important that even if you have a decent family situation, like if you're like me and your parents were good with you being gay, I think it's still important to have chosen family, because one of the interesting things about being queer, most of the time, this doesn't apply all the time, but for the vast majority of us, it's true. You grow up gay. You grow up with a very particular experience, living in the closet and then coming out one day, hopefully, if it's safe. And that experience is pretty unique. It's very unlikely that your parents or your siblings or even your cousins or grandparents had the same experience. It's a very unique, specialized thing. Population-wise, there aren't very many queer people. There aren't many gay people walking around compared to the general population. And so because of that, you can't actually look inside your own blood relatives or your family in order to get the support or the advice you need about being gay and coming out and all of these things. And thankfully, online now provides a great resource for how to come out, how to do it safely, how to connect with people, just to be able to listen to people's shared experience or difficulties or funny stories or, tips and tricks on how to do this or that. So thankfully, we have the internet that connects us, but we hopefully also have individuals that we choose to be our chosen family. We have individuals who have maybe gone through the same experience, maybe you have a mentor figure in somebody that you meet who really like takes you under their wing and helps you understand the nuances or the difficulties about being gay, or the idea of queer history. A lot of us aren't connected to that for a myriad of reasons, but it can be really beneficial to connect with a chosen family that has a shared experience. Some of my closest friends are in the queer community and have experience with the queer community at the very least. And so I feel a lot safer, a lot more comfortable talking to these people. These people provide like real world experience. My parents can always tell me to be positive and, ignore the bad stuff. It'll pass, don't focus on it, live in the present. They can give me this good advice, but they can't really tailor it to my experience. They can't really give me advice of, well, when I came out of the closet, that didn't happen. And so having this chosen family can really provide you with like specialized and helpful information and tools and even resources that are really important for the gay experience. Because like I said, it's a unique experience. It's one of those things that you just can't get help with. If you grow up in a culture that speaks Spanish, at least everyone around you speaks Spanish. And so it's easy to interact, and you probably grew up with it. So you feel comfortable in that culture. But when you grow up gay, you grow up in a little bubble, especially at the beginning when you don't have anyone else to interact with being gay. And that's a real problem, and it disconnects us from the community that we're in. And it also makes us feel like we're outsiders and that there's something wrong with us and that, am I a good person? And so being queer, you always come up to these issues and you go, geez, I really feel isolated and alone. And that's where the chosen family comes in, because you're choosing these people based on just their inherent love of you and the feeling of connection that you have. Maybe you had similar experiences. I know some of the deepest connections I have with my chosen family come when I talk about, the difficulties, the hardships, the experiences that I experienced coming to terms with being gay. These things are not universal, but it is so nice, and it is a breath of fresh air to connect with somebody who knows what you're going through, who knows what it's like to be in the closet and really scared of what your parents are going to say, really scared that, if you come out, it's going to change you in some fundamental way, or that when you come out, you have to act a certain way. None of those things are true. You can choose how you do it, the way you do it, how safely you want to do it, who you come out to. A lot of these things are not inherently told to us. And like, thank goodness for social media, but it's also so nice to have this community of people around you who understand and who get it. And I think young people in general are a lot better at this, and talking to some of my older gay contemporaries and some of my chosen family, I know for a fact that 40 years ago, it was much more difficult, and there were a lot more nuances, and you had to be a lot more careful with who you told and how you did it. And in those situations, which still happen just the same today, there is still oppression, there is still difficulty, there are still many places around the world, in countries, doesn't matter where it is, there are still many places where it isn't safe to come out. You can't do it. Your parents are not accepting. You'll be kicked out. There's a lot of persecution out there. And the idea that, it's fine, just come out, that's not a thing. And so I really encourage everyone to try and find a chosen family that understands what you're going through, that can, give you some guidance, give you some advice tailored to who you are. And it is so neat to experience that and to connect with somebody on a meaningful level like that and say, oh my gosh, it's not just me. I remember the very first time I came out to a chosen family member, and they were so good about it. And we just had this 3-hour conversation. And I remember thinking halfway through the conversation, it's not just me, and that was so incredible to experience. I had felt so alone for such a long time and just thought, nobody is going to get this. I am a completely unique case of crazy. And I just thought, man, there are people out there who understand what it's like and who feel the same way about coming out, the same way about, how it's not fair, how there are many persecutions and difficulties and very tailored things that only affect you as a queer person. And to know that there just wasn't like it wasn't just me going through this whole thing. That was huge. You know, I went from thinking like, man, I got the whole world on my shoulders, to knowing that there is an entire community history of people who have walked before me, who will walk after me, and, you know, who continue to strive for a good life, because that's really all we're trying to achieve. So find your chosen family, hold on to them dearly, you know, be honest and genuine with them. If they need help, you're there for them. If you need help, you know, same thing. So that's all I wanted to say today. Explore the idea of chosen family. I hope everyone has a chosen family. If you don't, building one is always an option. I don't care if you're 16 or 86. Building a chosen family is really important, and you might not realize it or think of them as your chosen family, but these are people that you confide in. These are people that you love and trust, and these are people that you know they understand you, they get you, they see you for who you are, and they love you for it. That's what chosen family is all about. And, you know, whether they are biologically related to you, whether they adopted you, whether, you know, you found them or they found you, they're family, you know, and those bonds are so important and so magical, and they make us better people. So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you very much for listening. I really hope you enjoy it. I hope you're having an amazing month, amazing day, amazing week, whatever you're having. I hope it's amazing. And as always, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.